just two greasy girls.
Who cares?
Also, for everyone who's watching on YouTube, just to follow up on the whole color theory discussion from a few weeks ago, this is not one of my harmonious colors. Like, this is
That
actually a color for me to avoid, and I think you can tell. I think you can tell that I should be avoiding this.
is it
It's
the
like
light
a
pink one?
it's like a lavendery light pink,
Mm.
and I feel like it's just really not doing a lot for me in
Okay,
general. Yeah.
so get the color that speaks to you.
Oh, well, I really liked it in this color, but this I got this
Oh.
before I had done my
Oh,
palette.
okay.
But I
So
feel
now
like
we're having
I'm gonna
regrets.
tip it up. Like, look how much more harmonious this blue is with me in general
Yeah. Yeah.
than this purple. So,
This white is washing me out drastically.
just the color theory is.
You didn't do it for me, so I don't know what my color palette
Oh, well, you
is.
didn't send me a selfie of you with
Oh, you're
natural
right.
light where I could see your
You
eyes. So
have 10,000 photos of
I
me. You're telling
know.
me there's not one photo that you have in your existence that works?
All right, well, let's find one. Let's do it right now. Let's do it live.
We're basically a married couple. You and me are the top two people in my phone of photos that I have. And it's like
Actually,
two different versions of you as well. Bang version and non-bang version.
there's actually
They're
two
like
of me.
these are not the same person.
Well, they weren't. I'm using this real close up from one of the videos from Vegas. That's when
Because I
I got
dropped
your
my
skin.
phone.
Yeah, I think it is when you dropped your phone.
And then I tried
All
to
right,
do it
let's do this.
again.
Let's do this live, shall we? All right, let's see. Discover your palette. Browse photos. Photo library. Photo of Nicole. Done. Your skin tone is incredibly even, Nicole, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Apparently, you're a soft autumn.
Okay.
And now we're going to go to the other thing to look at you in a soft autumn.
Okay, great.
Vivaldi color. This is what I've been doing all of the drivers went on. So what did I say? Soft autumn?
Mm-hmm. It was just
That's
watching a TikTok on color theory.
all I think about. It's literally all I think about. Literally all I'm thinking about at
Someone
any
was in our
given
DMs the other day and they're like, I don't want to do this because I'm really afraid that it's going to tell me that black doesn't look good with my
mood.
in my color wheel. And I simply can't handle that information right now. And I was like, that's so fair.
Okay, so this is you with soft autumn.
Okay.
So I think
And
it
then,
worked. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna record my screen because I'm gonna do all of them on you so that and I'll send it to you and you can choose
okay.
which one you think is best. Okay. I just did all of them. I'm almost thinking you might be a light summer too.
Mm, I see it. I like a lot of pinks and like a lot of pastels.
I'll also send you this. And there you have it, folks.
That's all she wrote.
It really is. Okay. Anyways, anyways, how's everyone doing here?
My arm hurts. I'm so mad.
From the door handle.
Yes, dude. Ow. I'll send you a photo tomorrow because I know it's definitely not gonna be in my
Yeah,
color wheel.
gonna leave a mark.
Okay, Bill's Mafia.
What?
The cup behind you. Why you have a Bill's
Oh,
cup?
Nick went to Nick's friend used to play on the Bills, and
Oh, right.
so he went
Okay.
to a Bills game once, and they all got merch.
Yeah, how could we forget when we sent we sent Nick with the
Oh
Danny
yeah,
Rick shirt so that we're like,
if he
give
was
it to
there,
if it the shirt off your back, you're giving it to Danny Rick.
literally, and I'd do it again.
Nick is such a good trooper. Like he plays along very well with our crazy antics. So
Well, he married into it, so he better.
so true.
He literally took vows to play along with our antics. All right, let's get into it. First of all, welcome everyone. This is TG1F and F1 podcast with Kate and Nicole. My name is Kate,
I'm Nicole,
and this is our
and this
show.
is our show.
Um, and for the first time, in months. F1 is back. We're in the F1 season. We are inside the F1 season. F1, we
We're
are
over the
in
hump.
you. And
That's what
I,
I
for one,
like to
have
hear.
never felt so alive.
You know
Truly.
what? It's so crazy how every year we're like, "Oh, thank God for the break. Like we need it. We need it. We need it." And
And in the beginning,
then
we're like, fuck yeah, finally, it's back.
I'm like, I had people over for brunch on Sunday. I had a handful of folks over for their first F1 race.
Love it.
And I was back in the kitchen. I was cooking and I was like, this is where I thrive. I love to have friends over. I love to cook a good meal. And I love to have cars on the TV. And I love when people are like, so excited to be there and they're like asking questions. They're like, okay, this might be a stupid question. I'm like, never. What do you want to
Never.
know? It's just like it's so lovely. I feel so in my element.
I love that.
So I'm very happy that F1 is back.
I was in my element at an empty Dave and Buster's in Providence, Rhode Island. Okay, so I had done like a bunch of research about bars in the area, and the tough thing was that a lot of places weren't open um,
Mhm.
for a 10 a.m. race on a Saturday. So like a lot of places opened at like noon, and I was like, well, I need to be open at 10. So I found a place finally, and I called them, and I was like, hey, are you guys planning on like showing that fun race tomorrow at 10? And they were like, oh well, there's like a soccer match on at the same time, but I'm sure that like a one like the bartender will change one TV for you, like that's no problem. So I was like, okay, great, we're going here. So then we're like on our way, and we called our friend who was working in Providence on Saturday. We're like, hey, come meet us at Murphy's if you like want, we're gonna watch the race there. And he was like, you're gonna go where for this? And we're like, why? And he's like, that's literally like, first of all, it's a soccer bar, so like, good luck. And second of all, there is a Providence College basketball game at noon, and that bar is literally next to like where they play. And so we were like,
Yeah.
oh, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. And we show up. Kid you not, couldn't even get in, couldn't even walk through the door. And I was like, this is not gonna be it. And it doesn't feel like anyone's gonna want us to change a TV to F1.
Yeah.
So we were just like, I didn't really know where else to go. So we're just walking around and walking around. And I was like, I know that there's a Dave and Buster's, like, because I see it from my
In the
office
mall.
window. So I'm like, okay, I think this, like, I know where it is at least. So we could go there. We also, I think I want to try going to, because there's a night shift brewing in there too. And it's
Mm,
like in the same area as this place called Level 99, which is like
okay.
all sorts of interactive fun stuff. So they have like escape
Hmm.
rooms, and they have all these cool, it's like I think a lot of places go for like team building, but it's like
Yeah.
virtual adventure courses and stuff. And I was like, I want to go in there. So maybe next time we'll try in there. But anyways, we go to Dave and Buster's. We're the first people there. The first people through the doors at Dave and Buster's.
You're like,
Bartender's
"Knock,
not even
knock.
at the
We're
bar yet.
here."
Literally, bartender's not at the bar yet. There's one singular TV playing F1. It's like in the lounge, like actual seating area, not even at the bar. So I was like, I'm not gonna go sit over there. That's like crazy. So we just like stood there and watched it for a little bit until the bartender came, and then my parents met us, and then like a bunch of kids came in, but it was like just us, the actual bar. um, Nick was like, I don't know what to do. He's like, I don't know what came over me, but I ordered a tequila soda at Dave and Buster's at 10 a.m. And he's like, I think I hit a new low in my life. And it was just like,
That
I was just like, I feel like I'm in a fever dream right now that I'm in an empty Dave and Buster's as the like first patron of the day, ordering a beverage to watch cars race in the Middle East. Like,
like,
what?
it's so funny to think about you guys just being in an empty Dave& and Buster's. It's kind of like a liminal space. You're like, "What are we doing here?"
It was so bizarre, but I had fun.
Like,
I
if
was like, "This
you
actually could be
ever
pretty
catch
lit."
me at the Dave& and Buster's at Atlantic Barclays Center watching Formula 1, you know something is deeply wrong with me. So
I
sorry.
mean, you had a home to watch it in. I didn't have
True.
that chance on that
I
day. I
can't
had to
believe
make do.
I can't believe there's not really, like, one bar in Providence who, like, shows the races. That feels crazy to me.
I mean, maybe there is, but I had approximately 2 days to figure it out, and I
Yeah.
didn't have a lot of time to do that. So,
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like once
fair.
I live there, I'll be able to, like, suss it out a little better. I mean, I'm sure there are a bunch of bars that will do like the afternoon races, but I think it's like the
Yeah.
morning ones that are just kind of like tough. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyways, it was fun. I had a good time. We didn't get to watch the whole race because we had to leave to get back to the house for the inspectors. But
Well, tag your spoilers. Max Verstappen won.
literally, we get there. And within like the first 2 seconds, Nick is like, okay, well, Max has like a literal 20-second lead. So, like, can we leave now? Like, why are we even here? I was like,
Yeah,
thank
he was it was insane his gap. I was like, "Okay, well, he is a full 25 seconds ahead of Perez right now, which is insane." Perez is driving the same car as Max
the
Verstappen and he's
same car.
25 seconds behind him.
It
Insane.
was truly like I feel like we're being punked in these seasons because there's no way that this should be happening. And the fact that it was so quick after the start that he already had such a big lead.
Max and Charles had about 10 seconds where they were fighting each other at the beginning, and that was it. And then it
I
was
thought
over and done with.
I optimistically was like, I think Charles is going to get him at turn 1. It looked like it, and then Max was in front, and I was like, "Well, there's that." It's, I mean, that's that.
That's
That's
all
just the
she
way the
wrote.
cookie crumbled, and there's no like Charles is not gonna like come back to fight for that now. So it
Yeah,
was
this race was like we
heartbreaking a
said,
little bit.
we always really like the first race because we really get to see how things shake out on the track. And things really did shake out on the track. Like
Alpine being P19 and P20 for so I was like, this is not good.
it was truly a sight to be seen. Alpine literally fighting each other in the back. We had Danny and Yuki throwing down the gloves. Um, Yuki's already had his first kind of mentee bee on the radio of the season. Fantastic. That was
Mhm.
so insane. I don't know if you got to watch it live. It was kind
Yeah,
of towards the end, but like when they were giving team orders, which to be fair, I would have been pissed off if I was Yuki too, because they're like, all right, team orders, swap with Danny. Danny didn't catch K-Mag. Like he was not able to pass him, and then they didn't give Yuki back the position. Now, granted, I understand that it was not they weren't in scoring points position, so like in the grand scheme of things, like it doesn't really matter. But
right.
you like they didn't even like give Yuki the opportunity to just like finish above Danny.
It's
I
what
was
we were
like,
saying
I
last
would
week.
be
Everyone
pissed
is
at
underestimating Yuki, and I think that that's
yeah,
unfair. And it's just
yeah,
like, what has Danny proved? Like, what has Danny proven to be able to go in front of Yuki? Like, Yuki's been racing for the past year. Danny has not. So, like, why
yeah.
does he now, like, what has he done to prove that he should be able to go in front of Yuki on that?
Yeah. I was
Hasn't.
like and it was so funny because we were watching, like, the post-race interviews too, and everyone was like, "Where's Yuki? I need to see Yuki do an interview because I know he's gonna pop off." And I was like, "I know." It was just and then Danny's like, "Oh, like, I'll hold it. I'll hold my tongue." Like, he's being such a fucking helmet. 1, what does that
First of
mean?
all,
Yeah, nah.
where's the PC, please? Like, that was not chill.
What the fuck?
Yeah, a
Okay.
crazy thing for
Okay.
him to say, truly.
Daniel Joseph Ricardo, get your shit together. That was unacceptable.
How many times do we have to say
And
this? Truly.
you are gonna be in hot boy jail for the next week for saying that. I'm removing him from my top. I can't keep defending you when you act like this. I can't. You can't keep getting
He
away
makes
with
it
it.
really, really hard.
He makes it really
He
hard.
makes it really
Um
hard. Like, you're pretty, but you could doesn't mean you can get away with all of this.
Someone was so I was talking to Bird and she was because I was like talking about Danny and she goes, Nicole, you're still on about Danny. And I was like, listen, I know in my heart of hearts, I would hate him if we went on a date together. I would be like so annoyed with everything that he said. But I have a version of him in my head where he's better than that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know realistically, like I know. However, he's just so handsome to me that I excuse his behavior sometimes, and I'll be the first to admit that that is problematic. Okay, I get it. So Carlos, on the other hand, he's moving up to number one this week.
I mean, Carlos came out with something to prove, and he
He
proved it.
did, and you know what?
And
I'm excited for Carlos's reputation era
I
this
know.
season.
The one thing I'm annoyed about is that so many people are like, "Oh, see, like it proved that Carlos should have kept the seat and they should have like kicked Charles out for Lewis instead." And I was like, "Charles' car was broken. All right? Charles defense squad coming in hot. His car was broken. He literally said that his car had 100-degree split between his front and left brakes, or front right and left brakes. So like the front brakes, there was 100-degree difference between them. So
Yeah,
like he
likely
kept locking up.
story. Likely
I hate you.
for
No,
anyone who's listening, Kate's giving me the finger.
two of them, one on each hand. I just am like, I just I just want to shake Ferrari and be like, can you not just give them a working car once?
Charlo
Whoa. Rewind.
Charles is Charles is very much giving like Harry Potter and the cursed child. Okay. Just forget what I'm gonna say here. It's not important. It's not
Yeah,
important.
I hear where you're going with it, and I don't think it's going to be funny enough for you to keep going to tell it. Like I see the where you're going
It's
with the
not important. I'm running on fumes right now. Don't worry about it. Next subject.
next. So classic that Ferrari just fucks Charles.
Yeah, of
Also,
course.
so classic is Bottas having the longest pit stop of all time. Like, why does this always happen to him? Why does this always happen to him?
I don't know.
Once
I
a
but
year, it's traditions. Bottas traditions meme. Traditions are Bottas having the longest pit stop of the entire season every single year.
it's just he's got to do it because who's going to be holding that record if not him?
It
He's not
was.
winning the race anymore, so he's got to have some sort of, record to put up on the board.
I was also laughing really hard at Checo being like, "You need to shout at me," and I was like, "Okay,
Yeah,
we've got a masochist on
I
our
know
hands.
that was
He wants the
so
pain. He wants to be yelled at.
that
He's like, "You
was
are
so
super
funny.
quiet, mate. Speak louder. Shout. You need to shout." I was like, "Okay, what a sick masochistic lion."
Okay. Well, Checo needs to be yelled at to get his shit into gear.
Apparently.
Tell me what Helmet has to say about Checo.
Hmm. Helmut Marko, we know that he never has anything good to say about Checo. Literally ever. Has never had one good word about Checo.
Find me one good quote from Helmet
And
on
even though
Checo.
Red Bull got a 1-2 finish this weekend, he said about Checo, he said he has Max as a teammate, so not being destroyed is already a great achievement. Like literally saying that at least Checo didn't crash his car. The fact that he didn't crash was a good result for him. And then he said there are no established criteria. He has to do enough to earn that seat. And days like today, that's exactly what he has to do. So like I guess he said something kind of nice, but in a
But
very backhanded way.
the fact that they have noted that there's no defined criteria makes me incredibly worried for Checo. The fact that
That's
they're
like
like
when you are at a job and you're like, "Okay, what are my goals in order to get promoted?" And they're like, "Just like be successful. Like you just have to like be enough to get promoted." And you're like, "Okay, well that doesn't feel very measurable. And how do I know that I get there?" And they're like, "You'll just like we'll know." Which
well,
means
no.
you're never getting promoted and you should get a new job. But anyways,
Run.
that's what Checo needs to do because if there's no established criteria, Checo, hun, there's literally no way you're staying.
No, not at all. I'm worried because it just feels like no matter what he does, this is a lose-lose situation for him.
Yes, 100%.
So,
Yeah. The finish line is always going to be moved because
The
that's what
yeah,
happens when there's no established criteria is that the finish line keeps moving on you. And
yeah,
it's like, oh, if you do this, like maybe you'll keep the seat. Oh, but actually also this and like also this. And the finish line is going to keep moving and you're never going to reach it. And
yeah.
I think Checo, we've said our fair share of things about Checo, but I want Checo
We've
to know
been
his worth.
critical of Checo, but
But I want him to know his worth and know that he deserves to not have to deal with that.
yeah. Checo, you'll get it together, or maybe you won't. I don't know. But you know what? Clearly, Danny is not the right person for the Red Bull seat at this point in time either. So, Checo, I feel like you're safe for now. Before we move on to standings, we would be remiss not to talk about the incredible sign that just note that came up on the Williams car that says "car too hot." They're like, what? That's like kind of insane that they're just like, hey, this car is way too hot to be driving. Williams had a clusterfuck of a weekend. I am supporting right now, but I did
Love.
choose them as one of my constructors for the fantasy
It's only
league,
race
and then
one.
it's only
We'll
race
get there.
one, so I'm pretty nervous. But James, it's Nicole. Don't let me down, okay? And on that note, let's get into the standings for week one.
Which is really funny because I did them a little bit this morning. I at least went through for like the on track and I did as much the off track as I could. But then I figured we should just do these on the podcast every week because like combined brain share is going to be good. But
Yeah.
on track, we're literally even. We have the exact same, we tied, which feels
Wow.
kind of crazy.
Okay. High five.
Feels crazy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen because I think this will be fun for people to see on YouTube. So if you feel like watching this with us, um, head over to YouTube and you'll be able to watch too. So, are you seeing everything?
I'm seeing what I need to see.
Okay, great. So let's go quickly for the on track, which is super easy because it's just how many points people got. But yeah, so you obviously got the top two finishers, but mine
Y-
were more concentrated in the middle.
Yep.
So we both ended up with 51 points.
Wow.
Isn't that
All
pretty crazy?
right. That is crazy. Love that for us though.
I
All right.
looked at it and I was like, oh my God, how nuts. So that was a very interesting
Starting
thing.
starting off strong.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to off track. And I just want to let you
Mhm.
know that I looked at everyone's feedback and I had a lot more in here. But it was really, really hard because I was like, how am I supposed to know if half of these things have happened? So it was like really difficult. There were some, I forget what, there were some that were in there like took a private jet to the race. And I was like, I don't know if half of them did that or
Yeah.
not. Like there were just
Yeah.
some things where I
I
was
think
like,
they're
this
just
is
thinking
really
about, like, obviously, Charles is always promoting his VistaJet,
right.
so, like, they're thinking, like, "Okay, if they post about it," right?
Right. So, first off, we have this is for people that aren't necessarily watching, so and just listening. So, we have a segment of general things. So this is like season wide. It's not something that we're going to track like every single week because I don't think
Mhm.
these are things that would happen every week. So a
Yeah.
dedicated Drive to Survive episodes, like if they had like a major speaking role in Drive to Survive, they get 1 point. If they break up with their girlfriend or like there's a breakup, maybe their girlfriend breaks up with them, whatever, -5. Hate it. If they soft launch a new girlfriend,
Okay,
2 points.
well, you should have a -5 on there.
We'll get to that. It's not confirmed.
Okay. Okay.
This is like
Alright.
confirmation, especially now that they all post
Okay.
freaking Instagram stories if it happens. New girlfriend hard launch is 5 points because that takes some courage.
Mhm.
And then 3 points if they go to a Martin Garrix show.
Perfect.
So we can double those. So like if like Lando goes to like 3 Martin Garrix shows, we can put 9 points in there. Like whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
So anyways, those are like general things throughout the season. And then each race, this is what we'll be
Tracking.
tracking. If they post a cold plunge pick, 1 point.
Mhm.
If they wear a non-team outfit, 1 point.
Can we
If they
I if for the cold plunge, can it be cold plunge slash shirtless photo? Just like I think that we can kind of broaden the
well, I
category there to
did a
just
workout thirst trap, and that would be a shirtless photo, I think.
Oh, okay, okay, all right.
You
Sorry,
just
I've cut
didn't
you
get
off
there.
early. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
So if they wear a non-team outfit, they get 1 point. If their WAG attends a race, 1 point. If they post a workout thirst trap, and I include like a shirtless photo in this, 2
Mhm.
points. If you wear your own merch, -1. -1. That's cringe. If they have a special helmet, 2 points. Yeah, I'm gonna get a -1 every week for that, by the way, because Danny's on my team. So, um, if they post about F1 Academy, 10 points. 10 points. You win.
You
And
win.
then if they announce a team switch, 5 points. Because I was thinking, I was like,
What
oh,
do
is
you
that fair?
mean by switch? Like, you mean like team orders?
No, like silly season, like if they're switching
Oh,
teams.
okay, okay, okay.
Because I was like, oh, is that fair? Because 13 of them are out of contract, but I was like, some of them could stay at the same team. So
Yeah,
it's like if they
yeah.
move teams, that's 5 points.
Love that. Okay.
So let's just start going through them. I tried to do my best. So like cold plunge pick, I don't think we got any cold plunges this weekend.
No,
I didn't see
which
any.
is a shame.
Non-team outfits. I know that George, because he came in his absolute Tommy Hilfiger best.
Yeah.
Danny, I think he just wore his Enchante stuff.
Mhm.
So that's like, I guess that's a non-team fit, but I don't know if I count it. But like, I guess I could do it and it just cancels out because of the -1 for his own team merch.
Yeah.
Charles one day came in a non-team fit. Lando posted about his outfit. Ocon, I think he only wore his team outfit. Obviously, Lewis
Mhm. I
never
feel
wears
like
a
you
team
can just
outfit.
go ahead and put ones. Just put
On
ones
all of
across
them,
the
yeah,
board for
literally.
Lewis.
Him
Yeah.
and Joe just get ones across the board. Bottas, I don't think he wore his own clothes,
No.
and Albon, I think usually wears his Williams polo.
Correct.
Nico, I don't know. Did you see him at all?
Let me check. I feel like I
I
saw a
think
photo
he
of
just
him, but
wore Haas.
I think he just wore Haas.
Yeah. Perez never wears his own clothes.
No, I don't think
Max,
I've seen him I don't think I've ever seen him in normal clothes, if I'm being
no,
honest.
literally. Max never wears his own clothes. Alonso came in looking like Hugo Boss.
Yeah, he looked
Head to
good. I'll
toe.
tell you that. I
He
was a
looked
big
really
fan.
good. Lance, I don't think I even saw Lance. And then the only ones from the rest of these that I like saw photos of was Joe, and he obviously was wearing his own outfit. Wags attending the race. That one was pretty clear, so I just marked all of those down. We had
Yep.
Magnussen, Sainz, Russell, Ricardo, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Alonso, Piastri, and Gasly's Wags all attended.
Mhm.
Workout thirst trap. I didn't see any thirst traps. I know Carlos posted one today, but that's not race weekend, and we're
Pierre,
only counting race weekend.
when did Pierre post his dump? I guess it was 5 hours ago. We did get 2
It's got to
in
be race
this.
weekend. Can't be
Yeah,
day
I feel
after.
like I feel like if it is a dump, if it's a post related to race weekend, it should count
Okay.
because they're
Okay.
not posting on a Sunday night. Like I just
Okay.
feel like
So
it's
Pierre did one. Carlos did one. I haven't seen anyone else.
yeah.
And then I didn't see anyone
Are you counting Carlos's from
today.
his video series?
That wasn't race weekend, was it?
Oh, okay. I mean, it comes out on Thursday, so like I guess I kind of consider that race
Okay, I'll
weekend.
give it to him.
We'll give it to you.
We'll give it to him. And then
Because
I don't
he
think
was in a pool. So are we counting in the mountains,
yeah,
kind of like a cold
that
plunge?
yeah. I mean, he was working out. I feel like he was like doing laps or
Yeah.
something in
Yeah.
there. And then the only other person that I feel like might have worn his own merch is Esteban. But let me see if he posted anything. Oh, there it is. He sure did. He wore his new ugly merch. So
It's
that's
so ugly.
that is where is he? Oh, I have him. That's a -1.
Did
But
Pierre wear his new merch at any point this weekend?
does he have new merch?
Yeah, he came out with a new collection. It's actually like not too ugly.
Okay, good for him. Let's see.
Um yeah, he posted right before the last, like he posted in it, which is not during the weekend, but it was during the week. So he
Okay.
didn't wear it.
Okay.
But yes, he does have his
Oh
own merch.
wait.
So we will be
Okay. Never mind. All right. And then I don't think anyone has a special helmet because it's the first race. I didn't see any post about F1 Academy, and then nobody announced a team switch. So that's it for this week. Correct?
Mhm.
All right.
Okay,
So
hold on. Pierre did post in his dump he was exercising at the track in his own merch. Are we counting that?
yeah.
Okay, so give me a -1.
Please, please hold. Stop the count. Please give me a -1.
I'm just trying to be fair.
I so
If
appreciate that. All right. I'm a 9 and you have 6. So
perfect.
I won week 1 because we were
Okay.
tied on track and I won off track. So,
So it's 60 to 57 right now.
okay. I'm going to post a little
Tight
graphic.
tight race.
Uh
Tight race.
Tight race. It really was. And you know what? You can come back. You're going to come back from this loss.
There's plenty of time.
There's so many races left. So yeah, we'll do this every week on the podcast. We'll kind of like go through and I feel like it'll be fun to
Mhm.
kind of keep up with what's going on. I need to do a better job now that we have these
Yeah, you're
guaranteed
right. I need to
like keeping track throughout the weekend, like writing those things down. But it's also a fun little look back, a little
love it.
retrospective, a
We love a
post-mortem,
retrospective.
as Toto would say.
Yeah. All
So,
right. Enough about Bahrain. I want to get into a subject that happened during the Bahrain race weekend, but really had nothing to do with the race itself. And we've talked a little bit about this on the podcast already, but I think everyone's kind of dying to hear from us, as everyone always is. What's going on with Christian Horner?
what is going on with Christian Horner? And here's something that I think that this will deserve its own podcast episode. Like, kind of just talking about this and really digging into the nitty gritty details of like what happened and why
Hmm.
it's important. So, stay tuned for that because we definitely want to really dive in. But at a glance, the TLDR, as they
Hmm.
say, is at this very moment last week, Nicole and I were sitting in these exact seats and we were talking about what's going to happen with Christian Horner. And what might that mean, you ask? Christian Horner was under investigation by Red Bull, an independent investigation being, you know, from Red Bull
Hmm.
into some allegations from an employee. We don't know exactly what the allegations were. There has been a lot of chatter about it.
Plenty of
We're pretty
speculation.
sure, like, speculation is pretty, has almost confirmed what the allegations were, but we still do not have confirmation, which is very important to know. And he was under investigation, and they said they were going to come out with uh, an answer before the first race on whether or not Christian Horner was going to keep his job. So, fast forward to middle of last week, we hear from Red Bull that the charges against Christian Horner were dismissed and he would be keeping his job as team principal of Red Bull. Now, what necessarily does that mean? There was a lot of discourse online. Some people saying, like, I can't believe they found him innocent. Like, he's definitely not innocent. They had 100 pieces of evidence that they went over. How could he be innocent? And some people saying, like, hell yeah, Christian Horner's innocent, like told you guys, like this was just like a smear campaign. And let's get one thing clear. He was not found innocent.
Mhm.
There was no one that came out to say Christian Horner did not do these things. The
Mhm.
case was just dismissed. And if
Dismissed.
and if you watch literally any crime show, specifically
Which
Law and Order
Kate has a
SVU,
lot of experience in.
if anyone's ever watched SVU, there can be what's deemed kind of like a mistrial. And that can basically mean charges are dismissed. We can't come, there's no like guilty, not guilty, any of that. And it can happen if like a jury's deadlocked. It can happen if there's like evidence that, it can happen a lot. And obviously
Mhm.
this was not like an American judicial system trial. So like those things are, it wasn't like a mistrial or anything like that. But I think it kind of goes hand in hand. The charges were just dismissed. It was not an admission of innocence. It was not deemed guilty. It was just kind of null and void. Like there
Done.
was
Yep.
no resolution really, other than the fact that like they were not going to do a further investigation. So he very well could be innocent. He very well could be guilty, but Red Bull has decided not to pursue it any further.
Mhm.
So people were kind of up in arms. Nobody really knew what was going on, and we still had not gotten any transparency
Like,
from Red Bull
we
into
just got yeah, note from Red
this
Bull
is it.
saying, "Charges dismissed, Christian stays." That's it. That's all we
That's
got.
it.
And everyone
So
was kind of like, "You're not gonna give us any more
tell us
details about this. We're just
anything.
supposed to believe that
Right,
everything's cool." Like, what happened? Especially because there was
right.
alleged payouts and there was all of this stuff, and so it was kind of sketchy.
So then what happened is we hear reports that someone had sent an email to almost every F1 journalist that there is, as well as team principals, the FIA, Jos Verstappen, and like several other like key figures in the motorsport in the F1 world with a Google Drive that included photos and like text messages, the evidence that had been gone through at the trial.
Mhm.
They didn't say if it was the evidence that had been gone through, but it was evidence against Christian.
Mhm.
Nobody knows who sent it necessarily, where it came from, but we know who received it. And again, the important thing to note here is that the validity of those images on the Google Drive have not been validated. So we don't
Mhm.
know if they are real. We don't know if they've been doctored. We don't know if they're faked. Nobody has kind of validated them yet. So that's very important. Um, but it was, so that's something that went out to the entire paddock. So then from there, we had team principals like Zach Brown and Toto Wolff coming out saying, we want more transparency into this. Like, we want to know what's going on. Why have we not gotten any answers? And now we have this, which like looks a certain way. Um, and then apparently the FIA was getting involved, and it's just kind of like gone downhill in terms of
Mhm.
Red Bull's like PR machine. So they kind of thought that
It's
they,
very
you
much
know, wiped their hands clean with it, and then now there's even more speculation, and now it's kind of a, what are they going to do? They're going to either have to address it or wait for it to die down, and
it's
I don't
giving the
know what to
Streisand
do.
effect.
Yeah,
Where it's like you try to put a blanket over the flame of whatever this gossip is, and it only makes it worse, and
yeah,
then it spirals out of control, and it makes you look even worse than the
yeah,
initial piece of gossip to begin with. And
exactly.
it's just like this has taken over the entire sport for the
Yeah.
past week and a half. And so
Mhm.
it's like, right, we
Every
get
single
into
camera in the paddock was on Christian this weekend. Like, he couldn't take a shit without a camera there capturing it. Like,
people were
everyone, all
like
eyes were on
watching his
Christian.
every move.
Yeah,
Every move was documented this weekend because it was like we had heard rumors, oh, he was supposed to be out, but then there was, he went to the majority stakeholder and he voted to keep Christian. And there was like all of these rumors, right, circulating. And now there's all of these rumors about Jos Verstappen being a major player in Christian's downfall at Red
Mhm.
Bull, which adds a whole nother level of
Yeah.
complexity to the situation.
Yeah.
Because it's also like, okay, so Jos is like, I mean, there's been videos of him and Christian talking in the paddock, and we've seen from a couple of publications saying that, he's threatening that Max will leave if Christian stays, and he's tearing the team apart, and it's causing, chaos and turmoil within the
Mhm.
team. And some people are talking like, is this a power grab for Jost now? And they're trying to get a hold of the team. What's Jost's angle? Is there an angle,
Yeah.
or is he actually being a good guy in this situation? Like, what is going on?
In general, what's happening? And what happens when there's not transparency and no answers is that just breeds speculation, and it breeds
Hmm.
rumors like that that have no ground, like, it's just crazy, and people are be like, as human beings, we intrinsically wanna know things, and we want to be in the
Yeah.
know, we want facts and information, and so when there is a lack of facts and information, our brains basically just come up with every possible scenario of what could
Yeah.
happen. That's literally anxiety. That's what happens when we do not know the outcome of something, so our brains invent every possible scenario that could happen.
And you and I
That's
are
really what's happening
acutely
with this.
acutely
Yeah.
aware of those situations.
So that's what's happening here. Jerry Halliwell Horner was at the race. There was all the speculation of if she was leaving him and she was going to be there, but she showed up and they did this whole like
There
pap
were
walk
too many
down.
shots of
It was
them
just like,
touching. It was just like, I was like, "This is I don't like it, it's gross. I wish you hadn't shown me this."
yeah. So there's a lot of question marks still. I know that was not really like an answer of like what's going on with Christian because we still don't really know,
We don't
but
know.
I think it has a lot of implications for the sport and for the future. So we'll be doing a bigger kind of deep dive, looking at it from like a more zoomed out point of view. But that's
And
kind of your
there
TLDR of what's going on.
Yeah. And there are a lot smarter and more educated people
Yeah.
on the subject who are doing the work to like piece everything together, kind of talk to the right sources. We are just kind of regurgitating what we've
Yeah.
heard and seen from reputable publications as well as our journalist friends on the internet. So again, this is just kind of what we know at this point.
Hmm.
None of it is There are some facts about like kind of where we're at today, but a lot of
Yeah.
it is still really up in the air, which is crazy to say.
Yeah.
I feel like it's bad PR for Red Bull no matter what.
Hmm.
Like this is just a bad time for them
Yeah. Not a
regardless.
good look.
No.
And the more that they keep things vague and the more that they don't provide answers or a clear plan of action moving forward, the worse it's going to look. That's like
Mhm.
crisis communications 101 is you
They're going to
don't
be
need to give
studying this in
all of
crisis comms class.
yeah, like, they don't need to give all the information because you should never give every bit of information, but you need to give enough to satisfy, like, the questions, stop the breeding of more rumors, and, like, you have to have a clear plan of action so that people
Mhm.
see that, are comforted by it, and then can move on to the next thing, and, like, they are just not doing any of that, and it's, like, astonishing to me.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Speaking
it's like
of
a wild thing.
speaking of scandals in the paddock,
Another one hit, I
another
know,
one
with the
which
FIA
makes me
president of all
which
people.
I'm very intrigued by the timing of this.
So, yeah, so the FIA president, Mohammed Ben Sulayem, is now I don't know if he's under investigation, but a whistleblower, which incredible that they have a whistleblower on this, like, this is legit. Like, they're trying to make this the what are the oh my we can't go back. I'm like, what are the tapes? We always talk about
The
the
Watergate
something
the
the water
Nixon
it's like the
Watergate
Watergate
tapes.
files, but I think that there's some sort of tapes out there. So
And we're
I
not getting into this
am
again. We're not getting
still gonna figure that one out. But a whistleblower told the FIA that their own president allegedly intervened to overturn a penalty given to Fernando Alonso at the 2023 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So
Okay,
if
Saudi
this is
Arabian Grand
true,
Prix has always has some drama, huh?
always have some drama.
What's
But
going on
if it's
there?
true, this is the latest in a long line of incidents for the president who has already faced calls to stand down from his role. So there's all these people saying that like uh Alonso got this penalty and then allegedly Muhammad called up the head of
He
that like
just
some
called
other
Taylor up
person. He just called Taylor up and said reverse that dang penalty or else.
or
And then they did.
else
So
you don't
it's
wanna
just
find
I'm
out.
but I just am like so intrigued by this because like well what does Alonso have on Muhammad then? Because like why this one penalty? It just is so specific
Yeah,
that I'm intrigued by it.
and it's also like, if why this? Is he doing other things that are kind of
Right.
suspicious? What don't we know?
Well, apparently there's like a long line of incidents. Like people
Yeah,
have been calling
right.
for him to step down for a while. So, but
So,
yeah, I don't
like,
know why the whistleblower was like, "Whoa,
this
he
is
got
kind of where I
an
draw the
Alonso
line.
penalty." You know what? This is a guy. This whistleblower does not like
He
Aston
has beef
Martin.
for on Alonso.
Maybe he has beef with Lawrence Stroll.
I was gonna say, who are Lawrence Stroll's enemies? This is
Everyone
where
in
we
the
need to
world.
this is a
It feels
long
like the list.
list.
Who's not his enemies would be the
It's
easier question.
Otmar. It's Otmar. Because
Fun guy.
he was in the Bahrain paddock this weekend because he's shelling his new travel agency app to everyone in F1 apparently. I don't know what's going on with that guy, but I think he's probably the whistleblower because he's out for
100%.
blood.
Oh, I mean, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's interesting. What's going on with the men in Formula 1? I have a lot of questions. I think this just proves the point that men shouldn't be in charge of things and they should all step down and it should just be women led.
Yeah, and you know who should not be in charge of things? Taylor Swift's boyfriend and his best friend. Because what the heck's going on with Alpine? And where are Travis and
I
Patrick
was
on this?
like I was like, okay, what are we talking about? Where are we going with this? What scandals are Travis and his best friend, who I was unsure about who you were talking about, getting into?
I'm just like, where are Travis and Patrick on the whole Alpine thing? Because like they just are creating a dynasty right now. And I feel like they should be applying their newfound knowledge to the team that they're investing in. But they're
At this
not. And
point,
Alpine is absolutely crumbling under the pressure right now. They
yeah.
announced first race of the season, and they're doing a whole technical restructure. So they have two key figures are leaving. So their technical director Matt Harmon and the head of aerodynamics Dirk De Beer, incredible name, Dirk De Beer, are have resigned. They're like
Do you
we're
think
fucking out of here.
he's related to the De Beers Diamond family?
I didn't know that they had one.
Yeah, they're like the biggest Diamond family,
Well,
I think.
maybe. Well, maybe they should have contributed to their cousin's team that he was working for. Give them a little cash money. Because now they're restructuring. They're you know what they're doing? They're going through a corporate restructure, something that you and I know a lot about.
A reorg. It's just a
Just a
reorg.
it's a reorg.
It's not layoffs. It's
It's
not
not performance
downsizing. It's
based.
reorg.
It was a reorganization and they
Mhm.
had redundant roles and they
Yep.
had to leave.
Yep.
So now what they're doing, how they're structuring Alpine's technical arm is that Joe Burnell is going to be the technical director for engineering. David Weeder is going to be the technical director of aerodynamics. And then Chiron Pilbeam is now the technical director of performance. And all three of them are going to report to Bruno Famin. So basically, what they did was they said the technical director has not been working out. So, what are we going to do instead of having one person supervising all of this? We'll have three different people supervising smaller chunks of the role and like doing the role of the technical director. I, for one, just want to know if Travis and Patrick are going to like pop in and be like, hey guys, we just won our second Super Bowl in a row. You guys are really letting us down. So here's kind of like, we're going to do a little knowledge dump. Like maybe they're going to start doing some lunch and learns.
I mean, at this point, they're already 19th and 20th. You might as well put
Like I
Travis
think
and
that we
Patrick
need
in the
like a
car.
lunch and learn on teamwork, a lunch
Mhm.
and learn on working together as a full group, a lunch and learn on how to be two best friends. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Pierre and Esteban need that for sure.
And especially getting your two girlfriends, wives and girl, or your two wags to be friends. So then you guys are a dynamic foursome.
Double
So they're
dates all
trying to get
day.
Flavi and Kika in there. You know what I mean? So they
Mhm.
can have the Taylor Brittany effect. Because Brittany, nobody really liked Brittany Mahomes. But then Taylor was like, I like Brittany. And so now Brittany's got a whole makeover, like in her public opinion. So I'm thinking that
But
this might do wonders for like the Esteban Pierre rivalry. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Like I think that if they were all like friends, then maybe it would look better.
you turn that PR right on its head.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
So
right.
we'll see. We're open to also providing some lunch and learns if they'd like, as two people with a thriving business.
We spoiler alert, we know a thing or two about
We are
business.
no longer asking people to come on here to give advice. We are now soliciting ourselves to come to you and give you advice. We've
Exactly.
learned a couple
Exactly.
things. What is the farmer saying? We know a couple things because we've seen a
We
couple
know
things.
we know our thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Yeah, that's us now. And then the last kind of crazy story that I wanted to talk about that I saw, and I was just like, this is the most random thing I've ever heard. So back in 1995, Gerhard Berger, famously Heidi's dad, got his Ferrari stolen from him during a Grand Prix weekend.
Mhm.
It got returned to him now. It was recovered by police 3 decades later. So we're all really happy for Gerhard. He's
Do
obviously
you
been
think
struggling.
obviously insurance reimbursed for that stolen
Hmm.
vehicle, presumably, right? He
Hmm.
now has it in his possession again. Do you think he has to repay the insurance company? How do you think that works?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I never once had to file a claim like this at this level, so I don't really know kind of what the deal is on that. But if
Not
anyone is
a
in
single
insurance
clue.
claims and
Now we're back to
understands
asking for
dealing,
help.
yeah, okay, well this is not about business. This is about insurance.
Someone
If
wants to
anyone
give
is in
us a lunch and
insurance
learn on insurance.
if you're familiar with insurance claims and have dealt in the sum of Ferraris, let me know kind of what the deal is here because I'm
Yeah,
curious.
we're intrigued. We're intrigued. All right.
All right.
Um, I don't really have anything else F1 wise or like driver wise. I feel like no one really did anything of importance this week, in
No,
my
because the
opinion.
only thing that has been the
On my
news
mind is
cycle is
Christian.
Christian. Yeah.
Yeah. But really quick, F1 Academy little segment. So Rocked, which I don't actually know what Rocked is, but it just reminds me of
It's not
Rocket.
Rocket. It's
No,
not
it's
Rocket. Oh.
Rocked. ROKT. Rocked. So Rocked expanded its partnership with Red Bull Racing and joined the Red Bull Academy program for F1 Academy, and they're going to be supporting team driver Hamda Al Kabasi. So yeah, another new sponsor to add to the F1 Academy grid. Another thing that F1 Academy did over the weekend, or the past week, which I thought was so cute, is they're having their testing in Jeddah right now, and they announced and kind of launched their Discover Your Drive program, which is something they're doing to help get young kids interested in motorsports. and F1 Academy specifically. So during their testing in Jeddah, they invited students from a local school to tour the pit lane. And then I think they also had some of the drivers and engineers go to the school to talk with them about F1 Academy, which I just thought was so cute. And it was really like amazing. They had a great little video of how the event went. And there were so many kids, and they were getting to see the cars. They're getting to see the steering wheels, which I think is really cool. But it looks like a really great initiative, and I'm excited to see kind of where they take it this year. But I don't know. I'm excited about F1 Academy. We talked about this the other week,
Same.
but I think they really are kind of walking the walk in terms of um, like DEI initiatives and like really
Mhm.
making it accessible to people. So
Yeah.
I am really excited
Yeah.
about F1 Academy this year.
Me too. I can't wait to start watching the races.
All right, it's time for the girls' room.
It's been a minute since we've had a girls' room.
I know, but the Wags were out in full force for the first race of the season this year. So
They
very
were.
excited to see that. Carmen was there. Obviously, she and George have like a couples partnership with Tommy Hilfiger now. So she was there sporting her Tommy Hilfiger best. I almost said Tommy Bahama. Can you
Can you
imagine
imagine?
if if Carmen and George were working with Tommy Bahama? She just brings her Tommy Bahama beach chair and like opens it,
She's
and
just like us for real.
I would die. She goes up to the top of the motorhome and is like just sitting in her Tommy Bahama beach chair, just
Okay,
tanning.
but
A
that's a
dream.
dream.
A
She's got her
dream.
like trifold sun reflector.
Ah. Yeah, George is just wearing his Tommy Bahama like beach shirts to the track. Oh my god, now I need that to be their next
Honestly, I
partnership.
would love that. I said that would be a good April Fool's Day
Hysterical.
joke.
So Carmen was there with George's mom. It was very cute and wholesome. Kiko was also there, and she had one outfit that I want to talk about because it was this dark denim, like Canadian tuxedo, and she just looked
I didn't
so
see
chic.
it.
Oh, she looked so good. Um,
I love a Canadian tuxedo though, so I'm sure it
Same.
looked incredible. And also
She looked
on
really good. I
her,
couldn't
no
really
doubt.
tell if it was like a jumpsuit or if it was like a Canadian tux, but she just looked like really good. I loved like the dark denim. I'm really into like a dark denim right now. Are you looking it up?
Well, it's not in her dump, so
It's the F1 Wags
oh
period
yeah,
underscore.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's a jumpsuit. Either way, so cute.
Yeah, I loved it. Um, she was really cute this weekend. Um,
The denim is too identical. Like it's for it to be
yeah, so
like
it
two
has
separate
to be a
pieces.
jumpsuit, right?
Yeah.
I loved it. Um, Also, Louise and Egle, the two Haas wives, the content of both of their little baby daughters in the paddock
So
when
cute.
they were like picking up the daughter to scan
To
in, like
scan
tap
in.
in. Oh my god. I was like, this is the content I want. Like the next generation of Haas drivers. Like
Like
I was dead. They were so cute. I want more
Haas
of them. I
is
want them to grow
winning
up as best friends.
Haas is winning in the court of public opinion right now. They may not be winning on the track, but they're winning in our
Yeah,
hearts.
100%. My ovaries, they won.
Not good for me. I have huge baby fever right now.
Same. Same. Rebecca was also in the paddock for Carlos. She's just like a chic bitch. I don't know. Everything she
Mhm.
wears, I'm like, you look so good. And
Mhm.
she
I
pulls
mean,
off the short hair so well. I'm just like,
she's tall and skinny and she's beautiful and so like of course love that for
yeah,
her. She looks good in anything. Put her in a trash bag. She'll stun.
literally. Yeah, it's too much almost.
She
But
doesn't
she
have
looks
to do
great.
color theory because every color is for
It's
the mother.
everything. It's every fucking season, truly. We also had our incognito queen Heidi in the paddock. Just nobody ever knows that Heidi's there until afterwards.
Mhm.
And then they're like, "Oh, look at all these photos of Heidi in the paddock." So for the person that was in our DMs asking if we think that Danny and
They
Heidi are
broke
still
up.
together, unfortunately, she was there. So sorry to you. Sorry to the
They
Ricard
are
hose, but she's still standing by him. She still likes him even though
She's she likes him because her prefrontal cortex is not fully developed yet. That's why, dude. That's why.
but don't girls' prefrontal cortexes develop
No,
faster?
no.
No, they're all at the same time?
We're just kind of
Yeah.
forced to be mature sooner
Do we
rather
think
than
that
later.
Danny's ever developed, or do we think that maybe he got a couple
That's
concussions
why
in F1?
screaming. That's why Leo only dates up to 25 because once they hit 26, they realize that they're like, why the fuck am I dating this bag of bones?
Yeah.
And then they dip.
Yeah.
So Danny, count your
So
fucking days because Heidi's gonna wake up one day. People are gonna be like, "Whoa, Nicole's had a huge switch up on Danny. What's going on?"
I mean, like that girl on
They're
TikTok
gonna
that was
be,
like actually really rude to Danny to say that, and you're like, please, I would literally die for him. So once again, you're
"Oh
gonna be
my
accused of being
god,
really rude to him.
whatever."
Tiffany was in the paddock, and I have to say, I enjoyed her outfit. She looked
Let's
good. She had
go.
like a really good pair of jeans on with some cute sneakers and like a nice, like a cool bomber jacket. Not like the weird ones that Esteban wears, but like a really like a nice like kind of bomber jacket. So appreciated that for her, Tiffany. I think she's been taking some notes. So I'm excited to see more from her. Lily's Niemer was in the paddock, Oscar's girlfriend. She is also like Heidi, just like incognito. You never know where she's at. We don't see or hear anything from her like ever. She's private on Instagram. She's just like very, very private. But Oscar hard launched her a little bit, finally. Maybe soft launched because it wasn't her face. But he posted a photo of them on his Instagram story holding hands and walking away. And I was like, I just feel like that is the most PDA I have seen out of him almost ever. So
Ever.
maybe he forgot to hold the umbrella again, so he's making up for it by posting a pic.
Good.
TBD. And then Melissa Jimenez, who is Alonso's girlfriend, was also there, obviously, because she is an F1 journalist. So that likely place for her to be was in the
Mhm.
paddock. But here is a little bit of a rumor that we heard. A little
Mhm.
bit of a
Let's
rumor.
get into
It is
it.
completely it's kind of been
Unfounded.
confirmed. Been confirmed by one journalist that we know, but unsure if it is like how true like her intel is. But allegedly, Charles and Alex have broken up.
Mhm. TTT.
TTT, this would be his shortest relationship because it was under a year.
Mm.
So, very interesting. She was notably absent from this weekend's race.
Mhm.
Some people have like argued that she was like with Lorenzo's girlfriend celebrating her birthday over the weekend. So like is but she was also with Arthur's ex-girlfriend. They like have like a little friendship group now. So I'm like, does it really even matter if they're not dating them anymore because they're still friends? So we can't really
Mhm.
take that as confirmation they're still together. So we'll just really have to see. But
We'll be watching. Eyes are
eyes
on
are
the
peeled.
sky. Where
Eyes are
eyes are
peeled.
peeled, ears to the ground, eyes to the sky.
And I looked at the WAGs pages today and they posted something about Charles and Alex, but it was like a video of them from a couple months ago. So I don't
Mm.
think that they even have um I haven't seen anything recent
Yeah.
about them. So
I just
very
feel like looking
interesting.
at this list of wags, like almost everyone got a point across the board for having their significant other show up.
Yeah,
And it feels suspect that Alex was not there.
I know.
So he's speculating.
Truly. Interesting,
He's
interesting.
he's churning that rumor mill for us.
Yeah. So we're just going to keep our eyes out for that because I feel like she would have been there.
Mm-hmm.
Eyes are peeled. And then I just really wanted to talk again about Louisa, Lando's ex girlfriend, because she's still on Dancing with the Stars. She's still in it to win it. And I
I'm
just
obsessed
like,
that.
I'm obsessed with her. Like, I am loving this like post F1 WAG journey for her. And I
Like
just hope she's having so much fun.
I just love seeing week to week all of her little outfits.
Yeah.
and, like, all the little dances she
And
does.
she always posts, like,
Um,
a big story, like, the caption was always so long about, like, her inspiration behind the dance and all this stuff, and I'm like, "I love you. I love you. I
it's
love you."
perfect. So I hope she takes the cake. I hope she wins Dancing with the Stars. I would love that arc for her.
Alright, and now
Alright,
it's time for a manifest minute, and because I feel like I've done a lot of talking, I'm gonna let you
I'm
do
gonna
this
do the
one, Nicole.
manifest I'll do the manifest minute. Like we said on our stories recently, we're pretty low on manifest minutes at this point in time. So please send us in your manifest minute. We love to do them, and we love even more when people follow up with us and tell us how the event or the problem they were having or whatever, or their wish or goal, whatever it may be, how it turns out. I love to
Yeah.
hear it. It's usually always so positive, and it
Yeah,
makes me so
obviously,
happy
because our
that
manifesting powers work.
because we're witches. So today we're going to bestow Brooklyn with our manifestation powers. And Brooklyn recently wrote in and she said that she is currently getting her master's in education in a multiple subject teaching credential so that she can be a teacher. She's a student teaching in fourth grade right now, and she notes that she has a few F1 fans too, which must be so fun to talk to
So
kids about
cute.
F1. And she's coming up on the biggest assignment of her entire program. So she has to plan, teach, film, and analyze 3 consecutive math plans and send it to the state of California. Already gonna stop there and say you're a better person than me because don't ask me to talk about math at all.
Ever.
Um, ever.
Not now, not never.
No. So she just submitted her lesson plan. So now all she can do is wait. And on March 11th, she'll start teaching. So she would love us to use our manifestation powers on 2 things. One, to help manifest that her students don't go completely bonkers when she starts to film them, which understandable, they are in the fourth grade. And two, help her manifest overall success, that she passes this final and she essentially receives her master's program. So I'm going to ask everyone to close your eyes and take a deep breath in, deep breath out. And really, let's picture a rowdy room of fourth graders. We all know exactly what that feels like, what that looks like, what that sounds like. And imagine yourself in Brooklyn's shoes. She is setting up her video camera and asking very nicely. She is pleading with these children, guys, my job depends on this. And if you love me, you will be good to me. And the kids obviously love Brooklyn because she gets to talk about Formula One with them. So they all sit in their seats very quietly and patiently and let Brooklyn teach them about math. Division, long division, maybe we're doing multiplication
Whoa.
tables. I don't know. Fourth grade curriculum these days, I probably wouldn't be able to do it. Anyway, it goes off without a hitch. Brooklyn sends in the most flawless, beautiful video you've ever seen of teaching fourth grade students math. And the California Board of Education simply can't believe their eyes. They say, "This is the best video we've ever seen in our entire career." Stamp of approval, send her
Mhm.
master's degree immediately. Get this woman in the classroom. Our kids need her. Now, let's seal that emotion in. Take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. And let's open our eyes and let's go through this week and really just embody the experience of trying to wrangle 24th graders. It is not an easy experience, but we've all had something similar in our lives where we know that it is going to be a problem, but it's going to be a worthwhile problem because on the other end of it, we're going to receive something that we're really excited and hopeful about. So, whether that's a work project that you're trying to finish because it means that you are potentially up for a promotion in the next cycle, or you're working on a passion project that people are going to see soon, and you're really excited about it, whatever it may be. Let's go into this week with the confidence of being able to tame children and teach them math. because it requires a lot of confidence to be able to do that. And so I will be holding that feeling close to my heart this week because I think we could all use a little bit of that confidence.
I agree. Oh, I love fourth graders. I think they're so fun. When I used to do camp, I'd always rig the system so that I was the fourth grade counselor. So
That makes
my
sense
mom
for
was the
you.
one. My mom was the one assigning counselors to the grades.
Really, you rigged the system. Okay,
Yeah, just as a
nepotiz.
or yeah, I used my nepotism powers. It was either my mom doing it or it was Jody doing it, and I'd be like, "I'm 4th
Mm.
grade. Don't ever give me those kindergartners. No, thank you." I just feel like 4th graders, they're finally becoming, like, real people, and you can,
Mhm.
like, have a conversation with them, and they, like, kinda get it. They're just, like, so fun.
But they're still kind of whimsy, they're still kind
Yeah,
of fun and
exactly.
goofy.
Yeah,
They're
they're
not
very,
like
like,
preteens
innocent
yet where
still.
they're taking themselves too seriously
Right.
for the sake of being cool. Yeah.
But you don't, like, have to talk to them in, like, a baby voice, you know what I mean? Like, you don't
Yeah.
have to be like, "What did you do over the week," you know what I mean? Like, you don't have
Yeah.
to, like,
Yeah.
do weird shit. You can just, like, talk to them pretty normally.
Yeah.
So, Brooklyn, I'm sending lots of good vibes because that was what I was picturing the whole time we did that manifest. My
Kate
days
has
as
is
a
sending a lot of power your way.
I am.
But that is TGNF for this week. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Recap of where are we next week?
Saudi Arabia,
Saudi Arabia. All right,
scene of the
perfect.
dramatic crime from last year, so we'll see
So
what
it makes
happens this
sense that
year.
it's coming up. Let's see what happens to the FIA president. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Until next week, we'll see you on the
We'll see you
internet.
on the internet.
Bye.